Welcome to the Pet Loss Companion. I'm Ken Dolan-Del Vecchio. I'm here with my friend and co-author, Nancy Saxton-Lopez, and this is a program that we do every Thursday from about 6 o'clock to about 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, give or take, and it is a program that is based actually in the book that we wrote a while back called The Pet Loss Companion, Healing Advice from Family Therapists Who Lead Pet Loss Groups. And the beauty of this program is it allows us to have what amounts to a dialogue with audience members, because a lot of what we do is we read letters from people who share with us their stories of their animal's life and loss and where they are in their healing, their grief. And we're going to be doing that this evening. If you would like to send us your story, and we certainly would be happy to receive it, you can reach me at kenddv@gmail.com. You can reach Nancy at nsaxtonlopez@csmpc.com. All of this information that I'm sharing in the beginning is also in the description that accompanies either the live show or a rebroadcast, wherever you may see it. So I'm going to run through it kind of quickly. If you do send us a story, your story, we would like to know if it's okay to share on the program, and also to share in our Substack, where we share text of what correspondence we receive and the correspondence that we send back, along with the beautiful pictures that people send us. Let us know if it's okay to share. If it's not, one or the other of us, or maybe both of us, will get back to you in any case. You can also tell us that there are certain parts of the story maybe that are too sensitive and you'd rather not they not be shared. But that's up to you, and we're happy to correspond with you. You can support our program in a number of ways. They're listed in the description. We say that with the understanding that we don't expect you to give us money, but of course, if you do, nice. We're not going to refuse it. We will thank you for that gift of support. If you subscribe to our Substack, where, as I said, we post our correspondence, there is a small subscription fee, and of course that helps to support the program. Mm-hmm. This program is a friend of Dakin Humane Society in Springfield, Massachusetts. Dakin is a full-service adoption, shelter, and resource center. And one of the resources that they provide is a pet loss support group that I facilitate over Zoom once a month. It's totally cost-free for you to participate in, and the registration link is in the description. And we have people join us from all over the world and all over the country. It's always an interesting and very rewarding conversation, mix of stories. And the next meeting is on Tuesday. I believe it's the 11th. It's always the second Tuesday of the month from 6 p.m. Eastern to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Finally, please consider subscribing to our YouTube broadcast if you haven't already. And also, if you could give a thumbs up and leave a comment. All of those activities on your part help to raise the visibility of the program, make it more accessible to others, because it raises the standing of the program in the algorithm that tells people this is a resource for you when they're searching for help with pet loss. And finally, we'd like you to know that we have an affiliate relationship with a company called Bereave. Bereave makes really beautifully crafted granite memorial plaques, and Nancy is displaying the sample that they sent to us. If you purchase a plaque, and only if you purchase a plaque through the link in our description, we will actually get a little bit of a kickback, so a little bit of support for our program. So if you would like to get a plaque, and they are really very nice, and they're the kind of thing
beautiful. That very heavy, sturdy.
Yeah, that you might put in a memorial garden or a gravesite, or just a place inside where you keep mementos, something that it might be really a good thing to have, if that is something that suits your preferences. Nancy, want to get us started for today?
Yeah, we got two stories tonight. I'm going to read Celeste with her beautiful little Ralphie, and Ken's going to talk about Julie's story with Roxy. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start. And by the way, Celeste, I grew up in that area code, so I want to know where you're actually from. Ralphie came into my life in August of 2012. It was love at first sight. My three older children went to the SPCA and they found this 12-pound pit bull mix, Ralphie. Ralphie hid behind the bench, so shy and scared at first. After playing with him, my kids felt a strong connection and knew he was the dog to bring home. They adopted little Ralphie, but had to wait 3 days before they could bring him home. My son said Ralphie was barking and so excited when they returned to pick him up. Ralphie simply could not wait to be brought to his forever home. I knew Ralphie was the perfect fur baby as soon as they brought him home. He was so playful and loved being around all of us. Unfortunately, soon after bringing him home, Ralphie became sick with bordetella, also known as kennel cough. I brought him back to the SPCA for medical care, carrying him all wrapped in blankets as if he was a baby. Well, he was. I was already attached to my sweet fur baby, cuddling him and crying to hear that he was ill. In the short time that I had Ralphie, we had the beginnings of a strong bond, and I just needed my baby to be healthy and live a full and happy life. The associate at the SPCA said to me, "I wish they could all be like you." Thank goodness he recovered and he did have a beautiful life. Ralphie loved peanut butter and had chosen his favorite kind of bone. I would put peanut butter on the bone, and his tail would wag furiously at the sight, and he would sit calmly waiting for it, then happily enjoy his special treat. Ralphie also loved to play hide and seek. I would hide his bones around the house, and then he would run around searching and smelling for the peanut butter. When he would discover the hiding place of a special treat, Ralphie would run back to me excitedly to show me, and then enjoy his peanut butter bone. Every day I came home and I brought a toy for him. He waited every time for me to present his new toy of the day. If Ralphie did not receive his toy quickly enough, he would start talking and bark as if to say, "I am waiting. I want my toy." My truck was full of toys to always be prepared for my return home. Ralphie also loved going through the car wash with me. Ralphie had such a calm demeanor. We never had a fence, which was never an issue as Ralphie never wanted to leave our side. He loved us fiercely, and we loved him back just as passionately. I discovered that Ralphie hated water, so when I decided to buy a kiddie pool for him, it turned out to be not as good of an idea as I originally thought. All the neighbors loved him as well. He had such a gentle soul and loved all the belly rubs and the attention from everyone. Ralphie and I went on several walks a day. We met a lot of people along the way. Parents would run outside with their kids because they all wanted to see Ralphie and give him love. I would hear people honking their car horns and screaming, "Ralphie." He got so excited when that happened and would wag his tail at attention. Ralphie was nicknamed the Mayor since he was loved by all in the neighborhood, as well as all who would interact with him. He also loved parks and looking at the water. He enjoyed our trips to Niagara Falls. On April 9, 2024, I was given horrible news. Ralphie was diagnosed with sarcoma, a type of cancer. I cried when I received the terrible news. I was in such shock as to how such a lovable, popular fur baby could have such a horrendous illness. Ralphie was given the best care possible and never missed a vet visit. That precious boy always received the best of the best, including weekly baths, nails trimmed monthly, and was given preventative vitamins and medicine. The vet and her staff all cried at the news alongside me. They all said we love Ralphie, and they crowded around him. I was told to go home and love on him as much as I could. Ralphie was given an estimate of 4 to 6 weeks to live. I cried every day and decided to take time off from work. I cooked my baby anything I could think of to help keep him strong and never left his side. Ralphie continued his walks, yet not as far as he would in the past, but he never stopped trying. People would visit him as he positively impacted so many lives. There was not a dry eye in the neighborhood. Ralphie passed on May 19, 2024. The shock of his loss has been staggering and heartbreaking. I break down every day that he has not been by my side. I receive flowers and gifts from so many people showing their love and condolences of such a profound loss. They all said, "No, not the mayor." He loved all the children so much. The kids were crying and so upset he was not there to greet them. Ralphie was truly a special fur baby. I had my precious Ralphie's ashes at home. A kiss is earned every day. He was so loved by all. Ralphie was my soulmate. We are so connected in heart and soul. A leash was never needed, as all Ralphie desired was to be next to his mama. My life is forever changed. I love and I miss. Leash was never needed, as all Ralphie desired was to be next to his mama. I love and miss you so much. Now, there's another piece to this, right?
There is. Want me to read that?
Yeah, I
piece?
have it. I have it here.
Okay.
So she had started, Celeste started. Thank you so much for the show. It has been an incredible source of comfort during my grief. Since April 9th, 2024, I've been mourning the loss of my beloved dog, Ralphie, who brought so much joy and light into my life. In addition to your show, I found strength through crystal clear coaching. I looked that up. It looks like a really good website of support and help. Crystal Clear Coaching has been a lifeline during my darkest moments, offering support, validation, and a caring community for those navigating the pain of losing a pet. I wanted to share with you a memorial I wrote called Ralphie the Mayor. It celebrates his life, his unique personality, and the incredible bond we shared. I would be honored if you would share this story on your podcast, as I believe it could resonate with others who experience similar losses. Thank you for all you do to support and uplift those who are grieving. Your work has made a profound difference in my healing journey.
So, first of all, I want to just punctuate again, Crystal Clear Coaching, because Crystal is a friend of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's somebody who has now been doing, I believe, cost-free or very low-cost pet loss support groups with some great frequency. So definitely go and check her out at Crystal Clear Coaching. And you'll find her to be very, very helpful. And it's great that Celeste is really emphasizing that Crystal has been really helpful for her. And we actually think that we're going to have Crystal on the program at some point in the not too distant future to talk about her work as somebody who has not too long ago started her practice. And I think it'll be really inspirational for people to hear. So also, there's some amazing elements here. Like when I think about Ralphie never was on a leash.
Yeah.
I'm pretty envious because
that doesn't happen in our world.
That doesn't happen very much. That doesn't happen very much. And it's not generally entirely safe, but it apparently was the case that Ralphie didn't have like a really strong prey drive and wasn't like triggered by cars or people walking by, or they had him so well trained that he just was going to stick near them. But that's really remarkable, and it says something extraordinary, I think, about the connection that was there.
I want to talk about pity mixes or pitties, because we all know in the animal world that unfortunately pit bulls or pit mixes even get a really bad rap. And of course, unfortunately, there are some that aren't trained or have not been trained, to be gentle, the gentle giants, the gentle, souls that they can be. And, Ralphie is one of those sweet, sweet, sweet pity mixes. Oh, I'm so glad that we could do a story on these little pity mixes that are so sweet and so kind.
I have to say, before I knew many pit bulls, I was always a little moved by that myth that they're potentially dangerous. And now I took my dogs for training to a couple who have a rescue, and they have 5 rescue dogs of their own, and they're all, I believe all except for one, pit bull mixes. They are the sweetest.
I know.
They're the sweetest dogs you ever want to meet. They are so gentle and very gentle with my little dogs, because I board them there as well. And everything I've learned is that pit bulls actually can be among the best companion dogs, because they have a kind of in general, a fairly even temper. They're not really all that flighty. in general. And so anyway, I think they really got a bad rap. And it sounds like Ralphie was the best of the best.
Oh, he was a good boy. What a sweet boy. And
And
and he was the mayor. I love that. I love
everybody loved him. And I mean,
that.
that's got to bring a lot of solace
Yeah.
to Celeste, that there was just
So much
so
love
much
there.
affirmation and love and support. And she got flowers and cards and all kinds of acknowledgments of how important he was and how significant a loss this is. And so that's really helpful, I'm sure. And it's just also something to keep in mind of how important support can be for people when we're grieving. So it's a great story. And I want to thank the people who have left comments and thumbs up and all kinds of just acknowledgments that they're watching the program. That's really helpful for us, and it's rewarding as well. And I'm going to just say that we got a comment from Pamela, who said, "Hello, everyone. Thank you for the live chat. I lost my Siamese kitty. Her name was Tippy. I had her for 10 years, day and night. What an awesome little girl she was. My baby girl. We just try to go on. Yeah. So sorry so much. So sorry for your loss." And then Kate, who is often with us, and thank you for being with us, Kate, wrote, "It's not all about training. Gameness, the tendency for fighting, is a genetic trait. You can selectively breed it in and out. So pits who are game have a genetic predisposition for it. It's not all how you raise them. You can't discount genetics and DNA." And I believe, Kate, that's
Okay.
great and good clarification. And that relates to a number of breeds. And
Yeah.
so Belgian Malinois also are often
Rottweilers
are
sometimes. Yeah.
often very energetic and need lots of training, and not always, of course, because I've told people many times that I had 4 Chihuahuas, and I actually sought out a breeder who bred for very calm temperament. My dogs were not yappy, they were not nippy, they were the calmest, sweetest little dogs ever. So yeah, breeding has a huge amount to do with it, and so to do with their demeanor. So we're going to move on to Julie's story. And this is Julie, who writes, "Hi, Ken and Nancy. I recently found your podcast when I was looking for something to listen to on one of my daily walks, something I do multiple times a day since losing my soul dog, Roxy, on December 30th of 24. I was scrolling through the episodes and number 177 caught my eye. I just had an experience, and I thought I was losing my mind, in all honesty. After listening to this episode, I realized what I experienced was very real and decided to share my story. A little background: we rescued Roxy in 2013. We had promised my daughter a dog after we moved from California to Arizona. Roxy was my first dog. I never really considered myself a dog person and had no intention of participating in daily dog activities. Laugh out loud. That didn't last long, and soon Roxy became my little shadow. She followed me everywhere. I called her my sidekick. I had no idea that I could have so much love for a dog and that she would bring so much joy to my life. Unfortunately, Roxy was a very sick dog from the beginning, and she did not have an easy life. We had her 11 years and dealt with GI issues, pancreatitis, severe allergies, and liver problems. We had a couple close calls, but she always managed to pull through. In April of 2024, after an abscess on her paw, we noticed she started biting at her bottom constantly. Our poor girl was uncomfortable for 8 months while we tried figuring this out with multiple vet visits and even seeking a second opinion. We were told it was allergies, behavioral, possibly from loose stools that she was having. She was straining and straining to go to the bathroom, even with those loose stools. And every time we took her in, we were made to feel like we were worried for nothing. In mid-November, after explaining to a second vet that I can't leave her alone and can't even turn away for 5 minutes without her biting her bottom and demanding they do a thorough exam, I was told that the exam was boring. Anal glands were empty and small, and she was fine. 2 weeks later, I decided to get a third opinion, and this vet found a mass in her anal gland. Because of her age, 15, and because she had a grade 3 heart murmur, surgery wasn't an option. I was so angry with the other vets for not finding this and felt so bad for her. I got the diagnosis on December 2nd and was told that the only option was euthanasia. My husband and I discussed it, and it was very hard to decide when to schedule. He wanted her around for the holidays. I wanted her out of her misery. The hardest part was that she was eating, playing, going for walks, and sleeping. She just strained and strained to go to the bathroom, and we were constantly telling her to stop biting her bottom. It was just heartbreaking. On Christmas Day, we noticed she was getting worse. Every single time we took her out, she strained. She must have had so much pressure from the tumor. Her stools looked different. Her breathing was loud, sounded like fluid. There was fluid in her lungs. Even though she was still eating, we made the difficult decision to euthanize on December 30th. I really thought I was prepared due to her being sick for so long and knowing what was to come. I was wrong. I had no idea that losing her would change me as a person. I was blindsided. I had lost many people in my life, but nothing prepared me for losing her. I've never felt grief like this. I feel like a part of me died with her that day. It's been 20 days and I cry a lot. I wish I could say I'm better than I was, but I'm not. I feel alone and my house is so empty. I hate even being in the house, so I just go out for multiple walks, multiple times daily. I have her favorite blanket that I put on her bed next to me at night, and then it comes to the couch during the day. I set up a memorial for her. I begged her and God for a sign, a visit, a dream, something. I was thinking it would never happen, and then it did. On day 13, I was going to bed and had put her blanket on the bed next to me. I was missing her a lot that evening and pulled the blanket closer to me and put my face in it. I looked down at the end of the bed and saw her face nestled in the bottom of the blanket. She was like a hologram image, she was like a hologram image almost. Definitely spirit, I thought. I thought my mind was playing tricks on me because I was so desperate to get a sign. I turned away, looked up sideways, shook my head, told myself it wasn't real, looked again, and there she was. I would say she stayed there for about 3 minutes. Her little angel face was asleep. She looked younger, but I knew it was her. Believe me, I questioned this. It's all I could think about. And then I found your podcast and listened to the episode on after-death contact. It made me feel so much peace. Then something amazing happened to validate the experience even more. A couple of nights after the visit, I was going to bed and started thinking about a video I had of her rolling around on a new down comforter. She wanted those duck feathers, laugh out loud. I don't know why I thought of it, but I decided to look through my photos for it. Now, something you should know is that I remember every single picture I have of her. I remember taking the pictures or receiving one sent to me. So I find the video I'm looking for, but the picture next to it is something I don't remember, and it leaves me shocked. And I'm going to show you that picture. Mm-hmm. It's right here.
Ah.
It is the exact image I had of her during the visit. Her sweet face nestled in the blanket while asleep. She is also much younger in the picture than she was when she appeared. I'm inserting the photo to share with you. I don't remember taking this, and my husband and daughter don't remember it either.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm so happy that she came to see me and hope she does again. If anything, it let me know that she is okay right now, as I have often found myself worrying about her. I don't know what the future holds. We're thinking of adopting, just waiting for the right time. There's still so much grief, so many hard days, so many tears. I often have to remind myself to just breathe. I'm happy to have found you and enjoy listening to the stories of others. Feel free to share mine. I'm going to include a couple more photos of her. Thanks for taking the time to read, Julie. And here's another picture of Roxy. It's Christmas
dark.
time. It's a little hard to see. Christmas. And then here's another one. She's a very cute little dog. So I have to say, this story resonates with me so much because that's the way I've seen my Isabel a few times. Very much like a hologram. I've heard other people describe it as shimmering. You see them, but they're not exactly the way you would see them when they were alive, but you see them. And that's,
now, when was that with Isabel?
It's happened a few times. It's mostly when my other two dogs are running around in our hallway between our kitchen and dining room. I'll see Isabel running with them. I'm sorry, Abigail. I'll see Abigail. I don't usually see Isabel. I see Abigail, and she's running right along beside them. And
It's
I
amazing.
don't know how to make sense of that, but I know it happens. I know I
Yes,
see it.
of course.
And
It
so
can
it was affirming for me to read Julie's story because it's another validation that happens. This
happen.
stuff happens.
Well, it was like me and Hank, right? Walking up my side and putting his little head down to me after a year after he had died.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
young and he was a black pug, and when he died, he was obviously pretty gray, but he was young and he was walking and he just put his little head down.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
So also when Julie she felt like she was losing her mind, it really can feel when you have an experience that
You're
is
wondering.
outside of what we generally consider consensual reality.
That's right.
It makes you feel exactly that way, that, well, what's wrong with me? And then you realize that there's probably many perceptions that lie outside the norm. And it doesn't mean anything bad about us or that we're off. It just means that we're experiencing that. And she took it the way I think is the best. And then she had that very strange coincidence, if you want to call it that. Maybe it wasn't a coincidence, where she found that picture that she
That's
didn't
right.
even know existed.
Yeah.
And there's the same, it was the same, it was as though having had a picture of the hologram's image, the way she experienced
Mhm.
her dog that evening when she saw the image in spirit. So no explanation for this except there's more. What is it? There's more to meets the eye than there's some wonderful quote
Yeah,
about this.
now that you said that, I can't remember exactly what it is. But, I also want to say that, we all hope that we the believe in spirit. Remember last week, I think we
Hmm.
a mom, pet mom who said, I don't believe in this, in the spirit world. So she believed in gratitude. And I thought we thought that was a really good thing
That's
to.
great. Yeah, yeah,
But if you do, some people don't, maybe have the experience that
yeah.
others do. And that doesn't mean that they're not there with you in spirit.
Well, that's
Uh,
a whole other thing that you might feel their presence, and certainly gratitude is a way of holding them close forever.
yeah. So so don't be alarmed or have despair if you're not seeing or hearing them. They're still there with you, right? We're lucky if we do have dreams or we do have visions or we do, hear them or feel them in some way. But sometimes, that doesn't happen. So
Yep, yep. So thank you. My cat is encroaching on me.
that was me.
Yeah, thank you, Julie and Celeste, for your stories, for sharing with us, and thank you to those who made comments. And Kate made another comment on the
Oh
whole
yeah,
most pits are amazing,
good.
which which of course is true. And thank you if you left a thumbs up or a heart,
Yeah,
or
that's really,
and
thank
if
you
you
all.
if
Yes.
you if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing because that helps. I can't tell you how many times we get comments or emails from people saying, I found your program because I was looking for under pet loss. And that's what the algorithm does. It raises the visibility of the program for people who are searching for keywords that are associated with the content. So thanks very much for your subscriptions and for your comments and your thumbs up and hearts, because all of that
Yes, right.
helps to raise the profile for the program.
And also, it's gratifying for us.
Yeah, of course. We
This,
love to see
this
it.
is the
Yeah,
work that
it's
we love.
rewarding. So thank you all. And Nancy, have a good night and we'll
Yes, and
talk again soon.
Kate, I'm calling you after I'm getting in touch with you after the
Yeah,
show.
that's right. Okay. All right. Thanks a
Take
lot.
care.
Bye bye.